Hey everyone, I'm Bruce, and you're listening to Clearly Unfiltered, a short-form podcast that will offer clear, concise, unfiltered, and undoubtedly flawed thoughts on how and why I'm butchering some of my own sacred cows. In each episode, I'm going to let those steaks sizzle, and I'll serve them up medium rare or blue, and now again well done or charred. Having produced countless podcast episodes as part of my day job, I'm finally stepping into the audio void in my personal capacity, something I've wanted to do for ages. Before now, while I have had the desire to do so, I haven't had a clear idea of what to say, how to say it, and probably most alarmingly, the courage to turn my thoughts into audible utterings in the everyone can hear what you're thinking kind of way. Ever had one of those dreams that people could see what you're thinking in suspended above your head thought bubbles? Well, it's kind of like that, and it's going to get vulnerable and messy. At times, it'll be light too. Think minute steaks. But here's the caveat, the obligatory content warning. These sacred steaks might very well be served with a side of tempered cynicism. Truth is, I think I'm finally finding my voice. Why it took me 47 years to do so is a topic we'll get to down the line, I'm sure. People who have known me for ages, but are now distant friends, might very well be confused or concerned by some of the stuff I'll be sharing on Clearly Unfiltered. But I've learned, particularly more recently, that the discomfort of shattering the perceptions folk hold of one is far less important than speaking one's truth and living authentically. The people who know and understand me will get where I'm coming from, and I hope that new people who discover these ramblings in the audio sphere will feel affirmed and encouraged by the stories I'll tell and the thoughts I'll share. And I'm hoping too that over time you'll hear old and new friends on here, Clearly Unfiltered. You can expect musings on my journey to mental health, and I'll be tackling masculine norms and gender issues. There'll inevitably be thoughts on friends and family and the societal expectations that intro or ambiverts feel to conform to the dominant and loud culture of our extrovert friends. You'll hear about my journey to LGBTQIA+ allyship and the journey I'm constantly on to dismantle the inherent racism I learned growing up in apartheid South Africa. And if you know me at all, I'll definitely be talking about and possibly calling out the church, that most sacred of cows and Christians, because I'm seeing things now that I was blind to before, and I'm understanding more and more that I am, as Joy Vetterlein calls it, a spiritual misfit. Figuring out what faith and spirituality mean as the lens through which I see the world has shifted. There'll be talk of guilt and regret and things I wish I'd done earlier. And there'll be a celebration too, because even amid disentangling from and wrestling through much of the things that I thought defined me, there has been freedom. So much freedom. Truthfully though, I suppose because life doesn't work in silos, each episode will feature a herd of seemingly unrelated and fated cows, because our existence is really simple. Oh, and there will be cussing at times. I hope you'll join me as I ramble. I hope those of you who knew an earlier version of me will hold space for the journey I'm on now. I hope you'll continue to listen. And if it's not for you or my unfiltered thoughts make you angry, feel free to tune out too, because that's also cool. So, welcome to Clearly Unfiltered. Episode 1 will drop soon. I'll be sharing about mental health, including some of my journey to wholeness, which is of course ongoing, the emotional stoicism that exacerbates mental health challenges for men, the spiritual gaslighting perpetuated by churches, and some things that have been helpful to me, and more, all in a neat, yeah right, and tidy, all lies, 15 minutes or less short form episode. New episodes will be announced on Instagram. You can follow me on @ClearlyUnfilteredPod. But also, a great way to follow the conversation is to click subscribe or follow on your favorite podcast platform.